Hello fellow spooks and spookettes, my name is Spookasaur, and welcome back to another episode of Late Night Hearthstone. Tonight, I thought we would try out another deck, but, what I kind of want to do with this episode is talk about net decking a little bit. And for those of you that might not know, net decking is kind of where you go on a site and or YouTube or whatever, and you see a deck that somebody else is doing, and you copy it and see if it nets you any success. Net decking. So it can work. It can sometimes not work. And this is all dependent on whether the deck is suited to your play environment. So we're going to take a deck that I have here, and we're going to net deck and see how it works. So I've got this already pre-set up, and don't get me wrong, these are good decks, but sometimes net decks, they may contain some of the best cards in the game right at the moment. But see, the problem, like I said, is they're not always suited to your environment, because the problem with Hearthstone is the meta is constantly doing this. All over the place. It's all over the place. It really is. And that's dependent on rank, class that you're playing, and just in general, like, what people are adapting to counter and what people are trying to do to throw off counters or just throw off people that are expecting something that they may not be doing. So what you get from this is an environment where if people are familiar with that type of deck, with that archetype of deck, such as a net deck, you might find you're not going to do that well. But like I said, it doesn't always happen. Anyway, we'll go over what each card does here. Rockbiter Weapon, fairly standard shaman card. Give a friendly character 3 attack this turn. Really good for trading, really good for nice burst damage if you have a really good big minion. Works with Wind Fury minions pretty well. Overall, fairly rounded out card. God damn it, I don't want to convert to wild. Stop it. We got Ardent Squire. Just kind of have some early minions on the board. I have 2 of those. Tunnel Trog. This is kind of a staple early game minion of this deck, and for many shaman decks actually. And Tunnel Trog, this is a card in this deck specifically you want a mulligan for. Just take my word for it. You want a mulligan for this. Because whenever you overload, you're going to get attack for every locked mana crystal. And that can build up very quick if your opponent doesn't have a lot of early removal or trading options. Flame Juggler, fairly rounded out card. Nice little battle cry. 2/3 for 2. Fairly decent value. Flame Tongue Totem, much like Rockbiter Weapon, this is a fairly standard shaman deck card. Works well with a lot of different minions. If you play it, it has the potential to be ridiculous in aggressive decks. Totem Golem, this is seeing a lot of play nowadays. It's Totem, works very well with Totem decks and with Totem synergistic cards. You overload for 1 mana, so that synergizes with the Tunnel Trog from earlier. And it's a 3/4 for 2 mana. Really good stat line. We also have Feral Spirit. Feral Spirit is awesome. You get 2/3 Spirit Wolves. They both have taunt, and you overload for 2. But it's for 3 mana. You get 2/3 taunts for 3 mana. Really good value. See, we put 2 of them in. Hex. This is kind of a really good removal and control option for shamans in case there's a really big threat. You can just hex it away. and they get turned into ribbity rips. Lightning Storm, really good control again. If your opponent gets a really big board, you can do this. Plus, it's got Overload, so synergizes with everything else. And Manatide Totem. We get some draw. That's basically our card draw. Well, one of our card draw options. Tuskar Totemic, fairly standard shaman card nowadays. Really well with totem decks, which is what a lot of shamans do nowadays, actually. There's a lot of totem stuff. We put 2 of those in, 3/2 for 3. Pretty good stats. Cult Master, this is our other form of card draw. If your opponent can't remove it, and you have a pretty decent board, it can really help you out. Figured have a couple sources of card draw in here. Flamer Faceless, everybody is running this card nowadays. It's so good. 7/7 for 4, really. I mean, yeah, you overload for 2, but really, 7/7 for 4? Come on, guys. Why wouldn't you run this? Master of Evolution, 4/5 for 4. Stat line's pretty good for 4 mana, plus you get a battle cry to evolve a minion, and evolve is pretty good, especially if you have a minion that's low on health. It's not going to be giving you much value anymore. You can just transform it into something possibly better. Possibly worse, but possibly better. And, like I said, it's a fairly good minion with its stat line. It's basically a Chillwind Yeti, plus that battle cry. Doomhammer, 2/8 for 5 mana. You get Wind Fury, and you overload for 2. The Wind Fury is really nice, and it's a good way to trade with your opponent to make sure your minions have an opening. Bloodlust, this is if you get a pretty big board, especially with all your totems you're going to be playing, and you can just boost them up and hit face. Azure Drake, good source of card draw, also good spell damage, fairly solid minion for 5 mana. I was debating taking out some of the card draw from this, because I actually like this deck idea, even though it's a net deck. I thought about twisting it and making it my own. Thing from Below. 6 mana, 5/5, Taunt costs 1 less for each totem you've summoned this game. Really, really good, especially with all the totems we're going to be playing, so we put 2 of them in. Now that I've kind of explained the idea of the deck, the main thing you want to do with this deck is you want to mulligan for Tunnel Trog whenever you can, and if you're going turn 2, you get Feral Wolves, or Feral Spirits, whatever you want to call it, the 2/3 taunts. You want to get that, and then you want to get Totem Golem, and your idea is play Tunnel Trog, and then play Totem Golem, coin out the Feral Wolves. But, from the looks of things, we're not going to get, at least not the Feral Wolves. Yeah. Not good so far. I mean, the mana curve on this deck is nice. It only tops out at 6. So, it's a fairly early to mid-rangey deck, with some decent aggression, but some more removal options than most really aggressive shaman decks. And I got a feeling this is a Zulok, so this game's going to be fun. The other idea is, whenever you can, if you're not playing totems, your hero power is actually really good. The shaman hero power is probably one of the better ones, especially right now, with all the synergies that it has. He's going to kill a totem golem. That's alright. Alright, let's play totem. Well, that's not going to do us any good. I was hoping for a taunt, but guess we don't get that. And a Darkshire Councilman. Yeah, this will be a Zulok. Anytime you see a Darkshire Councilman, automatic Zulok.
Did you bring some fish?
Hey, we get... Oh, sorry about that. There might be noise right there. I bumped my headphones. At least we get some more card draw. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna fucking destroy this guy if I can. Fucking hate Zulaks. And, well, I mean, there's a Dark Peddler gone. Okay, if I can't kill this Darkshire Councilman, we're gonna have some problems. Some real big problems. Okay, not who I wanted to hit, but alright. What's he drawing now? If we can survive the onslaught and dish it back out, then we'll be fine. But if not, we might be a little bone around. Oh my god. What's he got? He's got Mortal... No, of course. He's got Soulfire. He got another Soulfire. And he gets rid of a Cult Master. I mean, that's kind of nice, but... I hate Zulak so much. Well, at least we have this. Come on, please do max damage. Please do max damage. Yes. Alright, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Alright, we're gonna play this. Man, see? No Tonal Trogs. Okay. So I guess that happened. I guess that's a thing. Not gonna complain for Star, but so far, this isn't really demonstrating my point about net decks being effective or not. So, I mean, hey guys, ignore my advice. Like, what do I know, right? I mean, net decks could be the best thing in the world. I mean, never know. And another Warlock. Well, looks like we're running into a bit of a trend this episode. I hate Warlocks so much right now. That class... I mean, I have no room to talk. Shaman is absolutely absurd too, but like, Warlock is about as bad. Still no Tunnel Trog. Are you kidding me? Wow. Wow. Well, guys... Last game was a fluke. Really, he's gonna play Abusive Sergeant. Well, at least he's got something on the field. Kill it. Kill it. Kill the Abusive Sergeant. Thank you. Finally, the RNG works. I swear, whenever I play this card, it never hits the thing I need it to hit. Ooh. You know, as shitty as this may seem, it might turn out to be a good play. Stops him from starting a ridiculous board, at the very least.
Buying or selling.
The light protects me.
Argent Squire. Alright. Oh, that value. And look, guys, we might get this next turn. Wait, will we? Yeah, we'll get that next turn. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, that might not be a good option, actually. Yeah, what am I kidding? That's probably a good option. He's gonna power overwhelming. Well, okay, he got rid of that taunt. Good on him. Wow. Okay.
Toasty.
There we go.
Get it out! Get it out!
So far, we're surviving the onslaught, but we're not. Okay. Well, that's a thing. Alright, so discard totemic. What do we get? Please give me something good. Wow! Wow, that's awesome. Oh my god. Yes. Alright. Well, that's good. We got a third flame tongue. I'm not gonna complain about that. Of course. Why wouldn't he run Mortal Coil? I mean, he is a warlock after all. And he plays a lot of shit. And another Mortal Coil, because of course.
Get in there and fight!
Let me guess. Runs a possessed villager into the first flame tongue, runs everything else into the second flame tongue. Yep. And then, yep. Because of course he is. Of course he'd do that.
Did you bring some fish? In your light. Tusk, tusk!
That was decent, I suppose.
Put this apple on your head.
And of course. You know, I find it funny they nerfed that card, but it still sees use. Oh, he just lost one Doom Guard. So that's something, I suppose. You know that... You know, that evolved minion would be nice right now. Be a really nice minion to have right now, but we're probably not gonna get it. Probably not. And another forbidden ritual, because of course. I mean, right? So his board's gonna get full. You know what's funny? We have no lightning storm. We have no lightning storm. Probably because I had to waste it earlier. What do I draw from this? Oh, another one of those. That could be nice. If I ever get to hit him. Yeah, if I ever get to hit him. He's probably going to trade the tentacles in, or buff all the tentacles and then just ream me. I mean...
Put this apple on your head. I'll get right on it.
Of course. Fucking double knife juggler. So stereotypical. It's not even funny. Oh my god. I mean, at least he only made it a 5-5, but that still hurts. Let's see if we hit the tentacle, guys. And nope. That, of course, is a no. Let's not waste that. That would have been a misplay. This is why you don't net deck, kids. It can work, but it can also just horribly fail.
Do you have the artifact?
Oh, of course. Well, his late game is just... No, he just won. Oh, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? There's our fucking Trog that we needed like 12 turns ago. More than that. I swear to God. Ugh. That's gonna give me an aneurysm. We've got like the perfect curve, and we never get the tunnel Trog. Alright. Let's do a couple more. Let's do a couple more and just... Then we can end my ceaseless agony.
Troll versus Valera.
Watch your...
Oh, hey! Hey, guess what? Our luck might begin might be beginning to turn. Not really. Okay, or maybe it is. Alright. I was gonna say, we can get the tunnel Trog, but, like, if we don't have anything to play off of it, then it doesn't really matter. So... Okay. This is not so bad. Until he backstabs. Because of course. Because of course he did. Fuck me. Alright. I noticed I'm swearing a little bit more in this video, and, I apologize for that if anybody, is not a fan of that, but, I mean, come on. Really? Okay, at least he doesn't have it later, but really? We're just gonna totem. It's a better move right now, to be honest. Journey below. Oh, of course. And he gets, like, the perfect Death Rattle card. Screw me and my life. Okay, Iron Squire, and we're gonna get a draw out of it. We're gonna get a draw, and then he's probably gonna run Huckster and Weapon in. Yep, how'd I know? I mean, I can't really be mad about that. I expected that. Oh, well, okay. I can be mad about that, though. That sucks. Where am I sitting with this? Ooh, do I really waste that, though? Do I really want to do that? Okay, let's play this, and then see what we get. We get a Totem Golem. And a Taunt. Great! Let's wait and see what else he plays, because I really don't want to blow a Lightning Storm. Unless I have to. What else you got, boss? What else you got? Alright, now might actually be a decent time. Sucks. But we did what had to be done, I suppose. Okay. Got some momentum going. Watch him draw Bloodlust or Rockbiter. And then have, like, some ridiculous, like, Edwin Van Cleef or some shit. No, but Phantom Knives. Of course. Because who doesn't run Thalnos Phantom Knives?
Did you bring some fish?
Alright. It's not that bad, I suppose. What do you get? Or Hex. He could get Hex, too, from that. I would not be the least bit surprised by any of that.
So many options.
Thank you.
Oh, of course. Tomb Pillager. You know, that card that every rogue I've ever seen runs. The card that only silences could probably counter, but, you know, who plays silences anymore? Well, I mean, Hex counters it too, but... I'm sorry, I'm being extremely negative right now. I probably sound bitchy, but, you know, it's just some stuff is just so annoying. And you know what the sad part is? You know what the sad part of all of this is, guys? Most of these decks that we play against, at low rank at least, probably net decked. And it's a damn shame. Really is. I mean, I understand some stuff is good. Like, you know, there is a meta. There is a very well-defined meta, and it just shifts around a lot. But it's just a shame to see, like, no creativity at the low ranks. And the creativity that you do see is, like, not much sense making stuff. Like, a lot of stuff doesn't make sense, and a lot of cards that people play don't have any synergy. Oh, of course. He gets something even better than everything I just talked about.
Well played.
Alright.
I did.
Well, we won. I wasn't really paying attention. I wasn't really paying attention, to tell you the truth. But, that's a really sad thing that I tend to see a lot. Not much creativity. And it kind of stinks. Because, like I said, yeah, there's a meta. Every game, well, competitive game anyway, has one. And for the most part, like, if you want to climb, you should stick to what works. But at the same time, like, sometimes it just doesn't work because people are going to counter you anyway. So you might as well, if you're going to net deck... Here's my advice. If you're going to net deck... then put your own spin on the deck. Like, make it fit your situation. If you're running into aggro stuff and you're like, if you're running into aggro stuff and you're playing a mid-range deck, like say my tempo mage deck, if you're playing a mid-game kind of deck like that with some late game answers to just sling spells, and you don't have much removal to deal with a lot of small shit on the board, do what I did. I had spell damage. I'm like, well, Arcane Explosion normally isn't good, but Arcane Explosion could now maybe work in this deck because I have spell damage, and I can take out 2 health, 3 health minions now with a little card like Arcane Explosion. And for the most part, that actually works. And I have a nice source of removal without, you know, being completely hung out to dry with no removal in case they get the perfect board against me and I can't do anything about it. And I can't move the game forward fast enough to be able to outpace them. Because most aggro decks with control-y mid-range decks, you're not going to be able to do that if they draw right and get the right board. You're just not. So, if you're going to net deck, try to put your own spin on it. Because a lot of times, people are just going to counter your net deck. And it may work, you may get to legend off of it, you may not. Most of the times, from what I see, most people don't. So, that's my advice. And I think that's going to do it for this episode of Late Night Hearthstone. You guys kind of saw kind of what net decking is, like where it gets you, and you got to saw, wow, I can't English, I'm tired. You can't see, oh my god. Cut everything. No, I'm kidding. But, you kind of got to see a fun shaman deck, is what I was trying to say. But, anyway, this has been Late Night Hearthstone. Like a favorite if you guys enjoyed. Leave any positive or negative comments you may have below. I will accept either. I take everything with a grain of salt. Not really. I take everything, as constructive criticism for the most part. So, feel free. And, if you did enjoy, consider subscribing and become a Spooker today. You never know. I mean, this channel could go places. I just kind of want to see what happens. Let me know if you guys want more Late Night Hearthstone. Other than that, I'm going to get going. And as always, I will see you all in the next episode. Later.